The Los Angeles Chargers are making noise this preseason, and fans are starting to take notice. From dominant defensive stops to unexpected quarterback storylines, this team looks fired up and ready for more. Before we dive into the latest updates, make sure to subscribe to the channel, drop a like, and hit that bell icon so you never miss a breaking Chargers story. Let's jump right into it. The Chargers just handled business once again, taking down the Saints 27-13. And while preseason games don't count in the standings, the energy on the field tells a different story. The defense came out swinging, holding New Orleans to just 13 points, and if not for one blown coverage late, it could have been closer to 6. But the real buzz? The quarterback room. Just weeks ago, Taylor Heinicke looked like the clear choice for backup behind Justin Herbert. Then came Trey Lance, and suddenly, the conversation changed. Lance's sharp plays and confident command have lit up not only Chargers fans, but even supporters from his former teams. This isn't just a battle for a roster spot anymore, it's a fight for a real role in this offense. With momentum building and a matchup against the Rams on the horizon, the Chargers are sending a clear message. This team is deeper, sharper, and hungrier than it's been in years. When Trey Lance arrived in Los Angeles, the expectations weren't exactly sky high. He was the quarterback with untapped potential, a career that hadn't yet lived up to the first-round hype. But now, the narrative is shifting fast. The Chargers have a knack for resurrecting careers. We've seen it before, players who came here with questions over their future only to leave with new contracts and renewed reputations. And slowly, Lance is becoming the latest chapter in that story. He's playing like a man with something to prove, confident, decisive, and willing to take chances. The contrast couldn't have been more clear in this game. Taylor Heinicke struggled through a rough outing, completing just one pass for 8 yards, and while some field position mishaps didn't help, the offense just never clicked with him at the helm. Then came the moment fans were waiting for, Lance trotting onto the field late in the first quarter. Instantly, the energy changed. He was firing tight window throws, moving the chains with his legs, and showing command that you just can't fake. Even with a couple of drops from his receivers, Lance kept pressing, threading passes into small windows and keeping drives alive. By the end of the day, he wasn't just the most dynamic quarterback on the field, he was also the team's leading rusher, outpacing even some solid performances from the backup running backs. If this is what Trey Lance looks like with just a few weeks in the system, the Chargers may have found more than just a backup. They might have unearthed a spark that could change the shape of their offense. It's a question that's starting to echo louder around Chargers Nation. Do we have a new QB2 in Los Angeles? Because right now, Trey Lance is making a strong case. 7 carries for 48 yards and a touchdown, plus 55 yards through the air, injected life into the offense the moment he stepped onto the field. You could feel the shift, drives had rhythm, the huddle had energy, and the sideline had belief. And here's the thing, I didn't expect to be saying this just a few weeks ago. The backup QB race was supposed to be straightforward. Taylor Heinicke had the resume. DJ Uiagalelei was the developmental project. But Lance? He's rewriting the script. DJU still made his mark with a beautiful 49-yard strike in the fourth quarter, showing he's got a cannon. But in terms of consistent command and momentum, Lance has been the heartbeat of this preseason. There's still time left, a couple more games to sort it out. Heinicke will almost certainly get more snaps to prove he can steady the ship. But if you're asking me, QB2 is no longer a formality. It's the most intriguing position battle the Chargers have right now. And Trey Lance? He's winning more than reps. He's winning fans. Speaking of depth battles, the running back room had its own mixed bag of performances. Nyheim Hines, who shined in the Hall of Fame game, had a rougher outing this time. His pass protection was outstanding, throwing chip blocks that helped spring Lance for extra yards, maybe even that touchdown, but 2 muffed punt returns likely shut the door on his special teams role for the near future. After those 2 muffed punts, Nyheim Hines was done for the night on special teams. From that point on, it was Luke Grimm and Darius Davis handling return duties, and honestly, that might be the direction the Chargers lean for the rest of the preseason. It's tough because Hines does bring value. He's quick, he's shifty, and his game speed hasn't dropped off much from a few years ago. But in a crowded running back room, costly mistakes like that can be the difference between making the roster and watching from home. Beyond Hines, the rest of the backfield kept the energy high. Kamani Vidal, in limited touches, once again ran like every carry mattered, decisive footwork, that sharp one-cut style the Chargers' backs seemed to have mastered. Haskins impressed too, showing surprising agility for his size. On one run, he didn't look like a bruising 6'1", 225-pound power back. He moved like a smaller, speedier runner, darting through the defense with quick precision. But the star of the night? Raheem "Rocket" Sanders. Fans had been waiting to see him after he sat out the Hall of Fame game, and when he finally hit the field, he didn't waste a single snap. 10 carries for 42 yards may not jump off the stat sheet, but the way he got them did. Sanders showcased explosive cuts, bouncing runs to the outside that left defenders grasping at air, and capped it off with a beautiful touchdown. The play was all speed, balance, and vision, the kind of run that makes you sit up a little straighter in your seat. For the Chargers, that's the challenge. There's only so much room in the running back rotation, but multiple guys are making legitimate cases to stay. Raheem "Rocket" Sanders didn't just shine as a runner, he gave us a glimpse of his versatility as a receiver. One target, one catch, 11 yards, but it wasn't the numbers that stood out, it was the way he hauled it in. Twisting his body mid-stride, adjusting in the air, and pulling the ball in like a seasoned pro. It was the kind of grab that instantly brought to mind vintage Austin Eckler, controlled, athletic, and perfectly timed. That kind of versatility makes the Chargers' running back picture even more complicated. The depth chart already feels locked in at the top with Omari Hampton and Najee Harris as the clear 1-2 punch. Kamani Vidal looks like a roster lock, Hassan Haskins brings special teams value, and that's already 4 spots accounted for. Do the Chargers go with 5? Can they even afford to? Because leaving Sanders exposed on the practice squad feels like an open invitation for another team to swoop in and grab him. It's a tough decision, because this backfield is exactly what you want for a team planning to lean on the run game. And when Harris is fully recovered from his eye injury, pairing him with Hampton, plus the speed and depth behind them, creates a group that can control the clock and wear down defenses. Add in a passing game led by Justin Herbert, with Keenan Allen healthy and young receivers stepping up, and suddenly this offense has the balance to be dangerous. The preseason has already shown it. When the Chargers dominate on the ground, the whole team feeds off it. And right now, their running back room is looking like a strength that could define their identity in 2025. All right, let's talk about the passing game, or better yet, the lack of it this week. Outside of that jaw-dropping 49-yard grab by Campbell, the air attack was almost non-existent. After him, your top 2 receivers were a tight end and 2 running backs. That's not exactly the recipe for keeping defenses guessing. It's a clear sign the Chargers need to find a way to consistently move the ball through the air. Drive stalled way too often, especially early with Taylor Heinicke at the helm. Sure, the run game showed flashes, but you can't lean on it forever, not in this league. I liked what we saw from Gadsden. That drop hurt, but the route running and potential are there. The real concern? Trey Harris. 2 preseason games in, and the separation just isn't there. That end zone target? Tight coverage again. This is a second-round pick with high expectations, and it's time to see him look like the threat he was drafted to be. And it's not just Harris. Lambert, Smith, Conklin, the whole receiving core needs to tighten up. The drops, the missed chances, they've got to clean it up, especially in preseason when you're fighting for roster spots. The running backs did their part, but with the Rams on deck, this group has to prove they can win through the air. The joint practice between the 2 teams was scrapped because of injuries, so health is already a concern. As for the defense, they brought the heat. Pressure, discipline, and smart coverage. If they can keep that same energy while the offense figures itself out, the Chargers will be in a much better place heading into Week 1. Man, this week was packed with standouts. Let's start at the top. Marlon Wax, what a performance. He strung together some highlight-worthy plays, including a sack and a tackle for loss, showing exactly why he's forcing his name into the conversation. But if we're talking about making noise, Caleb Murphy might be the loudest of them all. 2 sacks, 2 tackles for loss, relentless pressure. He's making it impossible to ignore him. And here's the thing, the Chargers' edge group is already loaded with Khalil Mack, Tuli Tuipulotu, Bud Dupree, and Carlo Kemp. Yet Murphy is playing like a guy determined to earn his snaps no matter who's in front of him. Then there's Eric Rodgers, possibly the player of the game in a lot of people's eyes. The rookie corner, 6'2", long arms, real speed. And 2 interceptions, one of them returned for a touchdown. He had 4 tackles, 3 passes defended, and was everywhere the ball went. The stadium held its breath when he left late in the game, limping after what looked like an ankle twist. For a young guy fighting for a roster spot, that's heartbreaking. Still, even if preseason time is cut short, he's shown enough to deserve a serious look, at worst, a lock for the practice squad. And I can't skip over R.J. Mickens, one of my favorite late-round pickups this year. 6 tackles, a tackle for loss, a pass breakup, and a forced fumble. The guy was flying all over the field. This defense, my goodness. Jamari Caldwell added a sack. Tony Jefferson got 1 too. In total, 5 sacks on the day. 5. That's domination. If this energy carries into the regular season, we might be talking about one of the most dangerous defensive units in the league. Man, the defense came to play, and I mean really play. This was one of those games that makes you step back and appreciate how well this roster has been built. The depth in the secondary alone is impressive. For years, cornerback felt like a spot we had to fix, and now it's become a real strength. Sure, rookie Tricus Bridges got beat today, growing pains for a 7th-rounder, but the kid's got time to develop. Meanwhile, we've already seen flashes from Eric Rodgers, and last week Nico Reed looked fantastic. At safety, Mickens, Tony Jefferson, and Williamson are making their presence felt. Williamson especially. This guy's been turning heads. Credit where it's due, the Chargers front office nailed this depth chart. If these guys keep building chemistry, this secondary could be a nightmare for opposing quarterbacks. Looking ahead to the Rams game, I've got 2 big things on my wish list. First, the receivers. I need to see them show up and make plays, not just for the highlight reel, but to build confidence heading into the season. Second, the offensive line. We saw some positives, but there were also some shaky moments with Andre James at center. With Rashawn Slater sidelined, depth in the trenches becomes even more important. And then there's the QB2 storyline. Trey Lance and DJU are quietly giving us one of the most intriguing battles of camp. Cuts are coming soon, so every snap counts from here on out. If the Chargers keep this energy rolling into the regular season, we might be in for something special. Bolt up. It's going to be a ride.